Mga kapuso, welcome to GMA Regional TV for our one-on-one interview with Mr. Ambassador to the Philippines, U.S. Ambassador to the Philippines, Mr. Sung Kim. Maayong hapon, Mr. Sung Kim.
Hi, how are you?
And how are you?
I'm fine. Happy to be here.
How was your morning here in Cebu?
Terrific. This is my second visit to Cebu, and I'm enjoying it very much. Busy day, though.
It is. And congratulations for the opening of the first ever advising center here in the Philippines. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. We're very excited about it. I had a chance to visit University of San Carlos, where we have established this Education USA Advising Center. I think it's a reflection of the enthusiasm and interest among young Cebuanos and young people from neighboring areas in studying in the United States. So we wanted to establish the center so that they could go there to have information and advice and support that they need to apply to U.S. universities.
I understand this is the first advising center in the country, in the Philippines. Why Cebu was chosen for the center?
I think some obvious reasons. First of all, this is a very dynamic, exciting, large city. For the past 2 years, we brought representatives from many U.S. universities to Cebu, and we noticed that there is a great deal of interest among students in this area about studying in the United States. So we thought establishing a center here will make it much more easier for them to actually get the information they need to make decisions about their education and their future.
True, that's right. Geographically, Cebu is quite in the center of the country. And with the opening of the Education USA Advising Center in Cebu, what are the benefits of having our own center right here in the city?
Well, I think benefits will be great. For one thing, students will be able to go there and know that they will get the information they need. Instead of doing a lot of research with different sources, that center will be able to provide everything they need in terms of possible choices of universities, different levels, different types.
Yes.
And beyond that, I think once a student decides to apply to a U.S. university, the center will be able to provide some advice and guidance on the application process, which can be quite complicated.
I see. Mr. Ambassador, any message to those who are interested to get advice on how to gain further education in the U.S.?
Well, I really believe that the United States offers the best possible education available globally. Many different choices, and I'm excited that more and more young Filipinos are interested in studying in the United States. For example, last year we had an increase of over 7% in the number of Filipinos studying in the United States, and I'm hopeful that that positive trend will continue in the years to come. They're getting great education, and at the same time it's helping us build stronger ties between the United States and the Philippines. We do have a very special partnership already, but I think more Filipinos study in the United States and more Americans come to the Philippines. It'll help us deepen our ties even further.
I understand this is your second visit to Cebu. Any changes that you've noticed around the city?
This is my second visit, and I'm very excited. I'm especially excited because I get to spend a bit more time this time. My first visit was very short. But this time I'm getting to see more of Cebu, which means that I'm driving around a lot more, and I noticed that the traffic has gotten a little bit worse. But more importantly, what I've noticed is that there's a great deal of interest, not just among the young people in this area and possibly studying in the United States, but I had a chance to talk to some business people, both American and Filipinos, and my sense is that there is really very enthusiastic interest in doing more with the United States in terms of business and economic ties. And I think that's also a very important positive trend for the relationship.
This time, Mr. Ambassador, I'd like to talk about the counter-trafficking grantees that you have given. I understand 2 grantees are based here in Cebu and another one in northern Iloilo, here in the Visayas region as well. I understand that these are against human trafficking and so on. Any improvement, any updates on these grantees? I understand you've spent millions of grants for these.
Sure. I mean, this is obviously a very serious issue for both the United States and the Philippines, frankly, for the whole international community. It's a very serious problem. That's why we're working so hard with Philippines authorities to make sure that we are doing everything possible to combat human trafficking. And I do believe that we have made some improvements. There's very strong law enforcement cooperation between relevant agencies of the United States and the Philippines. And we've had some very concrete successes in going after traffickers. And we're going to continue that effort because it's really an evil crime that must be combated.
Any specific programs for that those outlets where transactions are being relayed?
Yeah, I think our relevant agencies are looking at every possible way to fight trafficking. And that includes, of course, looking at money flows. We also have our joint cybersecurity working group, which is a bilateral working group, which includes both government and private sector stakeholders. And this working group has been very successful at coming up with ways to improve each other's cybersecurity. And I think that's relevant to your question about how do you look at remittances and financial flows.
Right. Just last February, you mentioned, you were quoted, you've expressed your support to the Philippine government's war against illegal drugs. Do you still have the same support?
Sure. I mean, I think we recognize that the illegal drugs is a huge problem in the Philippines. So we certainly understand the very strong law enforcement effort that the Philippines government has undertaken. As you know, the U.S. also has serious problems related to illegal use of drugs. So we understand the effort, and in fact, we cooperate very strongly with law enforcement activities. We also support the anti-drug campaign in a more comprehensive way through rehabilitation and then demand reduction activities and training. Of course, we continue to have concerns, serious concerns about reports of human rights abuses. And we have discussed our concerns very directly with relevant Philippine authorities. But I think it's important to recognize that there is a serious problem with the drugs, and that we will work with the Philippines authority to support that effort.
I understand, and we thank you for that. And Mr. Ambassador, before we end the interview, I need to ask, any memorable experience so far here in Cebu, aside from traffic?
No. There's so many wonderful aspects to Cebu, and I'm really enjoying my visit to Cebu. As I mentioned, it's my second time, so I'm learning more about this area. I think just looking at my schedule on this trip, certainly I really enjoyed visiting University of San Carlos. We have a long history of partnership with them. I'm excited that we established this first ever Education USA Advising Center right here in Cebu. Yes. I also had a chance to visit with this terrific NGO called Philippine Accessible Disability Services. This is an NGO dedicated to providing sports opportunities for people with disabilities. And they're doing wonderful work. They have a tremendously successful dragon boat team that has won many international competitions. Yes. So it was fun and inspiring to visit with them, to hear about all their great work.
Any particular favorite food that you've tried here in Cebu?
Well, I think like so many other people, I'm a fan of lechon Cebuan style, and I've had a chance to eat some of that on this trip.
Good that you tried our lechon. It's quite different though. Any specific place here in Cebu that you'd like to see?
So my last trip, I stayed in downtown area and didn't get a chance to really venture out too much. This time I'm staying in Mactan area, so I'm able to explore more. So I'm looking forward to going back to my hotel and enjoying the scenery for a while.
That's right, the beach side of Cebu.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ambassador, for spending time here in GMA Regional TV. Daghang salamat.
Thank you very much.